Hello, BookTube. One of these days I'm going to hurt myself doing that move. Cheers. Just making sure my camera was working. Okay, this is not a tag, although it very well should be. This is a collection of unusual books. Hang on, I'm trying to stay centered here. That I own. Now, I've seen people do their bookshelf tours, and some people have really impressive libraries. I mean, I would have my stuff on shelves, but it's not the case right now. People like, Mark over at Richards and Reed's, and there are several other people that just have, their stuff's all organized. Mine isn't so much. I have this shelf here, obviously, and then I have a plastic shelf here. Wally World, and then I have boxes of stuff where we have, stuff stored. But anyway, enough babbling. Okay, now, depending on your, also if you hear anything off that way, you know what's going on. Fallout 4. Depending on your literary inclinations, some of this stuff might be interesting, some of it will be humorous, because I have books, just they cover the spectrum pretty much. So let's see. Also a couple magazines. Now here, for example, is True, which touted itself as the man's magazine, and this was published in 1966, and you see a guy skiing on there, so obviously there's physical fitness involved. Like I said, 1966. And then on the back we have a cigarette ad. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should. And then they have A crossed out in your. And I actually remember these ads because they carried on into the 70s, obviously. And here are some of the articles. Masculine Mystique, a hilarious rebuttal to the feminine myth. Don't know what that's about. Something about Howard Hughes. Something about the Vietnam War. And where I've found these, it depends. And here's one. A lot of people wonder why I keep this. This is Stolen Souls by Jeffrey Sackett. I've never read this book, and I got to thinking about it because, it has a suicide note in it. And this book, I looked at the copyright date and the time period, and I found this in an old house. And I don't know what became of the person that wrote the note or anything like that. But this book was new. I don't know if they opened it. You would think that the family would have disposed of it, or maybe it slipped under the rug and they just, where it was new, they, who writes a suicide note in a book? But and then I have Barlow's Guide to Extraterrestrials. Now, like I said, this is just a mixture of odd things that I have. Didn't realize I had some of these, and this has some really cool stuff in it. From a bunch of sci-fi authors. Let me see here. Oh, there we go. There's a Guild Steersman from Dune. And what else can I find? There's a Lithian. So these are all artists' renderings. There's a Downward to the Earth. This is a critter called the Sulador from a Robert Silverberg novel. And I know he featured a lot of primates in his stuff. And here's a Vegan from Half Spacesuit Will Travel by Robert Heinlein. Could be something from Alan Dean Foster in here. Gonna have to indulge me. Come on, come on. I would have bookmarked my pages, but I didn't. That's pretty cool. That is a roomie from The Alien Way by Gordon R. Dickinson. You know, I'm not leaving here until I find something. Alan Dean Foster. No, I'm not pausing. Ah, I knew it. Ice Rigger, which is not one of my favorite Alan Dean Foster novels. And that is a Tran, and they have evolved to use their bat-like wings, and their claws have evolved like skates. Sorry. There. Sorry about the orientation, but it's my screen. Now, on to something else. This is, oh boy, $0 to $8,000 in 2 days by Douglas Holmes. And this was one of those get-rich-quick schemes. And apparently some dumbass ordered this, and right there is the dumbass's name and address, which would be me. Now you can go to that address. I haven't lived there in I don't know how long, 30 years, so you can go there and see if I'm home. I was a bit gullible. I think I was like 23 or something. Now here we have probably one of the longest overdue books in this area. I don't know if it covers the state, but Vanishing Wildlife of North America. And my brother checked this out from the library December 6th, 1976. And it has never been returned. You can even see where somebody tried to spell my name there, except it's Tob, and that, trust me, that wasn't me. So library police, if you're out there, my brother checked this out. I did not. I think that's 76. I don't know. Maybe y'all can make it out. Might be 78. So there's an overdue book. Next I got a magazine. July 28th, 1966. The Downbeat. And Benny and the Boppers. Assuming they're talking about Benny Goodman. They seem to cover a lot of jazz in here. Let me read this. So right here, here's what's happening. Sorry about the orientation again. Crap. Anyway, let me read this one here. Gotta be gentle with these. You can see Seattle. Sorry, right there. Seattle. The Penthouse has singer Aretha Franklin through July 16th, pianist Jack Wilson's quartet, and comedian Red Fox follow July 21st through August 6th. And then the Duke Ellington Band played there June 7th through the 9th. So yeah, that takes us back a bit. The Downbeat, I'd never even heard of that magazine, and I found it, I think, in an old house somewhere. Switch gears. Out of this world. Yep, some of these books look old, and they are old, but they haven't been stored properly. And apparently this was a book series that came out in I want to say 76, 77, and 78. And this has stuff about UFOs, mysteries, historic things, myth makers, and people. And let me show you one of the people featured in here. Aleister Crowley. I'm sure some of you know who he is. Jimmy Page bought his place, and Ozzy Osbourne sang about him. So, strange dude, inherited his family's brewery fortune. And let's see, this is Merle Isaac String Classic Method, published in 1940, and it is pretty much sheet music. Sorry again for the orientation. For the cello, the violin, the viola, cello, and bass. 1940. Then I have another Out of This World. Let me see if I can find something interesting in here. Well, there's some Uri Geller. And something about the Lindbergh baby, kidnapping. Threat from Another World. Gosh, I'm terrible at this. I'm trying to look at my little screen over there. I know this is all crooked. Secret of the Humming Discs. Once again, I'm sorry. There we go. Not quite sure where I got those at. I have Jack the Ripper, complete casebook, Donald Rumpelow. And this actually has post-mortem pictures in it. I think it's got a lot of pictures drawn. Let me see if this is the one. Yeah, might want to turn away. I'm not going to show that long, but if you're a horror writer like I am, you have a fascination with serial killers. I think most people have a fascination with them. They just don't want to admit it. Changing gears again. We have The Surgical Nurse. Now, this is the drama, thrills, and heartaches of a beautiful young nurse in a big city hospital. Let me see when this is published. You can tell I don't do unhauls. I keep books. I do not discard books unless they're really, really awful. So this was published in 1959. So it's probably pretty racy. And no, I haven't read it. I just keep old books. I like them. Okay, then we have Trumpet Transcriptions, which is more sheet music. Like I said, I don't throw anything away. And this was kicked out in 1944. Probably can't see that. Changing gears again, that's what this is all about. I mean, if Sean over at Eclectic Reads didn't already have the title, this would have been a great title. But so I have the Stephen King Companion, and there you go, Mark. Mark's probably seen that house a bunch of times. Mark from Richards and Reads. There's King's Place in Bangor, Maine. And you got to be a pretty big Stephen King fan to buy some stuff like this. I am. It's just I like his earlier stuff. Don't care for the newer stuff. Then I have Pretty Shield. And this is the Medicine Woman of the Crows. And she pretty much recounts her childhood to an interviewer, and I think I bought this book when I was in college for a sociology class, but I really liked that one. Then I have Johnny Cash, The Man in Black. This book was kicked out in 1975. Yep. Fourth printing in 76. I don't know when I got it, where I got it. Everyone should know who Johnny Cash is. Here, Fallout 4. This is the Far Side Gallery 3. I don't have the other ones, but everyone should be familiar with Gary Larson. If not, check out some Gary Larson cartoons. The Far Side. Then I have World Health from 1961. And some other ones from the early 60s. Sad pictures on the back of their other issues. Let's see, that in 61, this one's 62, and that one is 63. Living World History. This is obviously a school book, and I'm not sure if it's high school. I want to say it is. But the interesting thing about this book is the person that had it previously tore this page out of the Courier Journal for some strange reason. If they wanted to make a bookmark out of it, or if the building of that bridge was significant in some way. The date on the article is, or actually the Courier Journal magazine, May 21st, 1961. And then there's something on the back about the space flight, Kitty Hawk. And then apparently you could buy a Dacron and cotton shirt for $5, and a pair of those shoes, I want to say, for $29.95. And this book itself was published in, yeah, pardon me for being off screen here. Oh, I don't really know. Hang on, I found something else. That don't say, but wow, there's some chewing gum they were chewing. Beech nut peppermint. So how old is that wrapper? Oh, copyright's 1958. Sorry, I don't want to lose that chewing gum thing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't know if y'all can see that or not. Crap. Anyway, you get the gist. Now here's a book, Between Two Worlds, by Nandor Fodor, and this was published in, my books are about to fall apart. Hang on. Now, this one kicked out in 1966, and this is pretty much about paranormal stuff, telepathic experiments, reincarnation, all things of that nature. And I've read this book, it's just been a long, long time. And no, I can't remember where I got it at. Here's the Far Eastern War. Tells about what was going on around China, Japan. Published in 1942. World Peace Foundation. And the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace apparently paid for the publication. Now we're starting to get strange. This is Shared Intimacies. This book was published, you can tell it's filthy. I probably found this laying in the floor of an old house. This was published in 1980. And there you go. There's the description. Now, there's some strange stuff in here. I like to keep my woman happy, but there's some weird stuff in this book. Here we go. The Master Handbook of IC Circuits. In the early 80s, I thought about getting into computer repair. I knew someone that was doing it, and he invited me to join him and go into business. This is pretty much just schematics. And when it comes to computers, I can build one because there's not much to them. It's the software and stuff like that I have problems with. As far as building a computer, anybody that's ever messed with them, you have a power source, you have a motherboard. On the motherboard you have your CPU, and you have to put this kind of like gel that insulates it when you plug it in. You have your audio card, you have your video card, you have the RAM and stuff like that. I mean, there's nothing to it. I've built one before, so, and I've worked on a few, but when it comes to the software, obviously I don't, know much about editing, or my videos wouldn't look like this. And here's Exploring Kentucky. I don't know if this was a textbook, library book. This was published in 1949. And obviously a lot's changed in the state where I live since then. Then I have a book, Howard Hughes, The Hidden Years, and this was pretty interesting. He was a strange guy, and if you've ever watched The Aviator, the film with, let's see, I was trying to remember who directed that. Martin Scorsese directed it, and crap, who was in that? Come on, somebody help me out. And here we go, professional stage hypnotism. Obviously somebody set a drink on this. Sorry about the hesitation. Like I said, I'm trying to get my orientation right, but it's not working out too well. I don't believe in hypnotism myself, so I thought this would be funny. So that's it for all the weird stuff. Wish they were on shelves. They would have been easier to find. They were in boxes, and I just got to checking around. And I was like, might be kind of interesting to some people. And I just remembered who was in The Aviator. DiCaprio, Leonardo. So anyway, taking up enough of your time. Thanks for sticking around. If you made it this far, you're a real trooper. Appreciate it. Bye. Oh yeah, if y'all want to do this, I'd love to see it. Bye.